Welcome. The Tony Scott Internet Show is on. How was the weekend? How was everything? Everything good? Man, when it rains, it pours, right? Didn't it always seem that way? But you got to keep the faith. That's what they say. My wife's car went down. Alternator, battery. Man. It just doesn't stop, does it? Doesn't stop at all. It's just one thing after another. That's life. That's why God invented shaking your head. That was an invention from God. That's his way of saying, I got your back, but just think about what's going on and why you need me. That's why you shake your head like that. So, all right. So is this Super Bowl week? Because the Super Bowl is going to be this coming weekend. So this make it officially Super Bowl week. Still no decision as of this program being done about the Inflategate, although now physics are said by some to have played a role in why air left the football, Deflategate. But it only left the footballs that the Patriots had and not the ones the Colts had, right? Is that the way that... I don't know, man. The Patriots, this is the third time they got caught cheating, don't look like they're ever going to be punished. Not significantly anyway. I mean, this time... suspensions, draft choices, fines, all this. If the NFL is about protecting their brand, like they always say they are, then that's what they'll do. But, they'll take care of their own. That's what they always say. So apparently a security breach at the White House. Did you hear about this? A little drone, a little 2-foot in diameter drone. Somebody flew it onto the White House grounds, crashed it into a tree. Of course, the president and the First Lady are in India, but the girls, Sasha and Malia, and their grandmother, Marion Robinson, are at the White House. But they said it posed no threat to the first family. It was recovered by the Secret Service, but it did not pose any sort of ongoing threat to anybody at the White House. This is me saying this time, right? We live in such a different world now. We live in a different world. It's very possible at some point that someone can attach something to one of these little drones and fly it. I mean, do we have the technology to shoot drones out there? They're so small, will radar even pick those things up? If it's 2 foot in diameter, it's not very big. Do we have the technology to pick up something that's... Yeah, we can pick up a jet, a plane, even a little puddle jumper plane. But can we pick up a 2-foot drone, a 2 foot in diameter drone? Can we pick that up and shoot it out of the sky if need be, if this thing's carrying some sort of, weapon of mass destruction, a chemical of some sort, a chemical agent? Can that be done? That's going to be the question. Will we ever know? You know what? I don't know. But that's just another thing that the Secret Service has on their plate that they have to address. Man, it just doesn't stop. If you're a fan of Empire, you should know that Lee Daniels, that's his show, has met with Denzel Washington, and rumors say it may be about him appearing on Empire. I mean, Lenny Kravitz, Cuba Gooding Jr., Mariah Carey, Snoop, Naomi Campbell, Raven-Symoné, Macy Gray, Courtney Love, Foxy Brown, Patti LaBelle have either appeared or will be appearing on the program. I mean, they're pulling out all the stops for this. And I'm not going to say in an effort to save it. There's nothing to be saved. It's already been renewed for next season, and it's doing great business. Are they still running the promos that say with limited commercial interruption, or have they taken that little nugget at the end off, and they're going to start filling it up with commercials so they can make some money? I mean, that's how they make their money. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but I wouldn't be disappointed either. I mean, then I got to load it up like 30 minutes of commercials sprinkled throughout 60 minutes, like a commercial every 2 minutes. They're not going to do that. But we'll see. The show seems to have like a lot of momentum. And somebody said they were somewhere. Was that Kevin Johnson from the Post-Dispatch? And he overheard two elderly ladies talking about a plot on Empire, like white ladies. I don't know, man. We live in a different world. But folks are on the social media scene are not happy about Maya. Maya apparently is dancing in strip clubs now. To my knowledge, she has not taken off her clothes. but she's dancing at strip clubs. Now, whether this is a hoax or whether it was some kind of altered video, I'm not sure. But I hate to, I mean, it ain't illegal. But we as a society tend to look down on dancers of that nature, of that ilk. I mean, the money's legitimate. I guess it's not illegal. So it has to be, if it's not illegal, it means it's legal, right? It's just not something that we're all proud of. But, as somebody on social media says, we ain't buying her albums or booking concerts for her. The woman got to make a living. Well, she could work at the mall. She could. I don't know. I just hate to hear that, because I know there's still a lot of gas in the tank for her. Acting, something she could be doing. Why isn't it happening for her? Another weekend, another Bill Cosby accuser. Former entertainment executive Sandra Ladd, the wife of Hollywood producer Alan Ladd Jr., says she began hanging out with Bill Cosby in 1969 when she was working for a film producer in New York. She says Bill Cosby gave her a pill and she woke up the next morning naked with him just wearing a bathrobe. She has no plans to sue Bill Cosby. She's not going to do any interviews and is not looking for a payday. So why speak out 40 years later? She says the truth deserves to be known. That's what her mouth say. Part of me wants to say, at what point is this just piling on? But then again, if these allegations are true, then every victim has the right to speak out. Why they didn't speak out then? Why in 1969 did she not say, hey, Bill Cosby did this to me? Back then, black folks never got the benefit of the doubt. So if she'd have spoke out in 1969, he would have been run out of town on a rail and probably sent to jail, even if it were not true, because that's how they did black folks back then. Kind of still do it now too, but you know what I'm saying. So why didn't she speak out then? 40 years ago, she could have done a whole lot more damage and possibly has saved other victims from being victimized. Had she spoken out 40 years ago? Why didn't she speak out 40 years ago? I don't know. Let's go to Newton County, Georgia. Apparently, a parent there is upset their fourth grader came home with a worksheet that included the phrase "Po Pimp," which is that Do or Die song from the mid-'90s with Twista and some guy named Johnny P. But Scott Tolleson went to the Newton County School Board after his fourth grade son posed an unusual question. Daddy, what is Po Pimp? He says, try to explain that to a fourth grader what Po Pimp is. It was a language arts assignment about sentence structure. The worksheet includes a passage about the rapper Twista and how he broke out thanks to the song. Dad looked the lyrics up to the song, says it left his wife in tears at the kitchen table. The superintendent says, we take great care to review documents selected by our curriculum teams. Unfortunately, we missed this item. Aha! So it wasn't necessarily the teacher who came up with this on their own. This was done and it was vetted. And it got by you. So you can't blame the teacher for that. If, in fact, he didn't come up with the curriculum, he's just passing out the sheets. So who has to lay on their sword and take one for the team and resign? Who's going to have to do this? Superintendent, does the buck stop with him? Or does it stop sooner than that? Who's head of curriculum selection? Who vetted this? Who signed off on this saying, yep, language arts, fourth graders, it's done. All the curriculum is done. Everything is going to be sent to the printer, and we'll have it for the teachers to give out as lessons in time for the school year. Who made that decision? I mean, because if he says it got by us, that means that it was vetted. Unless y'all just rubber stamping everything no matter what comes through there. Is that what y'all are doing? Man. And it don't stop. So a guy named Russ Knight always dreamed about working at the Super Bowl. It was a dream job for him. So he got the word that he was going to be in the press box for the game. He wanted to share the good news. I mean, he had his Super Bowl 49 credentials, and he took a picture of him with the credentials around his neck, and he put it on Facebook, and the NFL says, you're no longer credentialed. Give them back. The NFL prohibits employees from posting pictures with their credentials in on social media and stuff. It's fine print on the back of the credentials, supposedly. Anyone who breaks the rule will be stripped of their credentials. So now Russ is going to be like us at home watching the game. But again, I think he even said, I didn't read it. I should have read it. I didn't read it. Some people say, oh, come on, man. Come on, you can't penalize. It's a dream job. No, you know what? Somebody, although in this instance, I don't know, somebody could get that. It could give them some sort of template to make a copy of it. And, and I'm not just talking about somebody trying to sneak into a game. It could be terrorist activity. It could be anything. So the NFL says you post the pictures on social media and we take them from you. End of discussion. You know what? It's their party. If that's a rule, it's a rule. If you didn't read the rules, that's on you. Oh, come on. No, I'm sorry. Sorry, that ain't going to happen. So sorry. I'm so sorry. Marshawn Lynch got fined $20,000 since we're talking about the big game. And the Seattle Seahawks are playing, and he's their star running back. $20,000 because at the NFC Championship game, apparently he grabbed his privates as a celebration. In celebration for something. I don't know if he shook them at somebody or I don't know what but apparently this is not the second time this has happened. This is the second time this has happened, not the first time it's happened. So, $20,000 for him is probably nothing. $20,000 is a lot of money. Some people say, leave that man alone. You know what? They told him once. They fined him once. They don't do that, man. And if he did it again, hey, you broke the rule. They already told you, like he wants to wear these gold cleats. And they says, if you wear the cleats, we're going to kick you out of the game. And I believe they kind of backed off of that and says, well, if you wear the cleats, we're going to take you out of the game until you remove them and put on league-approved cleats. Because apparently the gold cleats have not been approved. And people say the NFL is garbage. They're hypocrites. They're all that. They're all that. But you know what? It's their game. It's their game. And no matter what they do to their players, you are going to watch. You are going to support. You're going to buy the paraphernalia, the jerseys and caps and scarves and all that stuff. You're the one that's going to, NFL.com is going to get like 5 million at least visitors a month to their website. You're the one who's going to support the advertisers who buy time during the Super Bowl or even during the season so they can do anything they want. They could give two damns about you. They're garbage. Yeah, they're garbage, but they'll do what they want. They will do what they want. Think they won't? Then you shouldn't even be allowed to vote because you ain't got no sense. It's their party, and they'll do what they want. Let's see. What else do I have for you? This man robbed a co-worker at gunpoint. Apparently, Larry Murdoch is being held on bond for felony and robbery. He asked his co-worker, hey, man, you want to hang out tonight? And the dude says, yeah. Dude's 19. He goes, yeah, I'll hang out with you, man. It's all good. So they go to hang out, but Larry brings a friend of his, and they rob dude at gunpoint. Cash, jewelry, boots. They took his boots, a hat, his iPhone. And then he calls, Larry Murdoch calls the victim and says he could have it all back for $1,200. He's 19 years old. Where are you going to get $1,200? He goes to work the next day. Larry Murdoch goes to work the next day. How you going to rob a coworker? You rob a coworker and the very next day you go to work like nothing. What's up, man? What's up, baby? Who does that? Come on, man. Oh, my goodness. Dude, you're doing it wrong. You're just doing it wrong, man. Come on, man. You can't possibly think that you made a good decision there, man. I mean, come on, dude. I saw this on blacksportsonline.com. My friend Robert Littall runs a great site over there, and he's got a section called Not News. And in that, he talks about Robert Allenby. It took about a week, but the truth has come out. Apparently, he went to a strip club and spent like $3,400. He's a golfer. He said he left dinner. This is the story he had. He left dinner and he was kidnapped by some Hawaiian goons, and they held him for 6 hours. They beat him, they robbed him, and then they threw him on the side of the road. Immediately, people were saying, nah, man, no. The truth of the matter is, he spent $3,400 at a strip club. There was no robbery. He was drunk. He fell down. He smashed his face on some rocks. So the wounds from his supposed beating was not a beating. It was he fell down because he was drunk. Now, someone did find his credit cards, and they racked up some purchases. And there's a possibility somebody put something in his drink. But I've always found this to be the case. If you're married or anything close to married, live with somebody, engaged, I think counts in this category. Fellas, talk to the fellas. I can't speak for women. But if you're going to the strip club, you should tell your significant other, Tony, you are crazy. Nah, man, because you know what? Something's going to happen. If you don't say something, Murphy's Law says something's going to happen, and it's going to be worse. I've been to strip clubs. I haven't been to strip clubs in a while, but I never lied about it. I never lied. You know? I used to have lunch with my best friend and a great friend of ours who happens to be a lawyer, and he liked the wings at a certain strip club. And so, I don't know, once or twice a year, we'd go to the strip club and have lunch. I was terribly uncomfortable, you know. But I mean, I told my wife before I went, yeah, we're going to wherever for lunch. She was like, why do y'all go there for lunch? I said, him, man. That's where he wants to go. And she, you know, her logical question is, why you have to go? I said, I'm just hanging out, man. Ain't nothing going on. The daytime dancers ain't as, they don't make as much money as the nighttime dancers. A stripper told me that one time. So if you're listening, which I doubt, and you do the daytime shift at a strip club as a stripper, don't get mad. But I was told by a stripper one time that the daytime strippers, they ain't as fine, and they're basically they're like the AAA team. They're like the Memphis Redbirds trying to work their way up to the St. Louis Cardinals. So they put the work on their routines and stuff like that, get ready, you know, and then when they big time is when you're the featured dancer at night. That's the big time in that industry, is what I was told. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just saying. But back to my point, fellas. You think I'm crazy, but trust me when I tell you this. Something bad always happens to somebody who's trying to sneak off and do something. It always works out. It always works out that way, man. I know guys who went to the strip club, didn't tell their wives. Everything was fine. They left. They got into a car accident in the parking lot of the strip club. So how do you explain that when you always look? I was trying to get directions, babe. I was there to pick up somebody. A buddy of mine says he was too drunk to drive, and I went to pick him up. Yeah, okay, all right. She's going to give you the side eye, and you ain't getting no loving for a while. Which kind of brings me to another point that wasn't planned. Someone also once told me that a woman told me one time that you should never withhold loving from your man because he'll go get it somewhere else. I think that's crap. I think if a man wants loving from somewhere else, he's going to go get it no matter what. He's going to go get it no matter what. So when you're on your period, if you don't have sex on your period, that means he's he's in the mood for some loving. He's going to go somewhere else to get it for that week. Is that what that means? Because y'all refuse to have sex while you're on your period? Is that what that means? I don't know. I've never had sex with a woman who was on her period, so I don't know. Call me old-fashioned. This, did y'all know if you heard about this in Michigan? A man could go to jail because he won't pay child support because the child's not his. It's not his child. Carnell Alexander walked into court knowing that he could go to jail. DNA test proving that the child's not his. $30,000 to the state because the child's mother used his name as the father to get welfare benefits. And under Michigan law, that means that Carnell Alexander owes child support. That ain't right. He says, I'm almost homeless. I'm almost in jail. I'm out of work. My money's being threatened to be taken. And he says the law needs to be changed. He did not get sent to jail, but the case is still open. Here's the deal, okay? This has been going on for far too long. I've talked to lots of men who have been victims of this. And if it's proven that you're not the father, and the woman puts your name on the birth certificate, she should be prosecuted for fraud. She should be prosecuted for fraud. Now, if you are the father and you ain't paying child support, well, you know what? That's a separate issue. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about women who commit fraud by knowingly accusing someone of being the father of a child that they know it's not the case. That's just wrong. That's wrong. And this man is being persecuted. He's having to hire a lawyer. He's missing work. Well, he don't have a job right now, but typically you go miss work. So your employer is going to be salty with you, and eventually they may cut you loose. Now you got to pay this lawyer bill. I mean, the woman, if it's proven that she knew and she did it anyway, she should be prosecuted. She should have to pay his lawyer bills. She should have to pay the price. End of story. That's just how it should be. Because that's just not right. It's just not right. There's a woman in China who sold her newborn baby boy. She was in cahoots with her doctor. And she paid the doctor. And I think she paid him 35,000. Is it yen that they use in China? And she kept 7. Apparently that's a real issue in China. Because over there's so many people that they have laws. In Japan too, I think, where you can only have 2 kids. You have any more, then there's a penalty to pay or something like that. I'm hoping that the meteorologists are exaggerating or overkill in this case, because this storm they're talking about is going to hit the East Coast is frighteningly dangerous. My buddy Mark Clark works in New York City on the radio, and he said they put them in a hotel because they're just not sure, near the radio station, so they won't be that far away and stuff like that. But I hope they say it's going to hit very hard. This may be the worst storm ever. Now that's saying a lot. 6,000 flights have been canceled. My thoughts and prayers, because I just can't imagine something like that. That's just. I mean, everybody has some sort of crisis going on in their life, whether it be financial, relationship, family members sick, somebody you care about's going through something. There's always something. Your job's on the line. And now you have to deal with Mother Nature. That's just kind of like that. For some people, that'll just drive you over the top. It'll just make you crazy. I mean, it really will. And then there's a story of Alma Renee Bass, who got suspended from church for 3 Sundays. Why? Well, let her tell you.
I got suspended from church last Sunday. I mean, it wasn't my fault. It was the usher lady's fault. I accidentally almost cussed like 3 times, right? So she comes and she says, "You late." I said, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "I apologize for being late." She says, "You know what? First of all, you late. And where is your pantyhose at?" I said, "All right now, usher lady." I said, "Go on." So she up on the back of my heels. And I told her before I knew it, I said, "All right, usher lady, I'm going to slap you." And I didn't say a cuss word. I didn't say the cuss word. I just said, "Usher lady, I'm going to slap you." And then I stopped. I'm not churchy like the rest of y'all. Most of y'all know how to conduct yourselves and act like you supposed to act in church, right? So she turns around, she looks, she said, "Come on." I said, "Who the hell you?" But I forgot that I was already in the sanctuary. I know hell is a place, but I'm still not supposed to say that, in the church. So anyway, we in there, and I'm already, just like I said, I'm already feeling bad. So I'm like, he got to talking and preaching, and all that. And, it got kind of good to me. Everybody else was yelling out stuff, and they were saying, like, hallelujah, go get it, preacher, go ahead. And, just different little stuff, just praise the Lord and stuff, right? So I got kind of happy, too. So I said, "Well, go ahead then, Pastor. You doing the damn thing this Sunday." And I didn't know that I had said it that loud. because everybody else, they was in there and they was yelling out stuff. So I'm trying to figure out and say, what makes me any different? Why I can't yell out nothing, right? They call themselves gonna corner me out the church, told me that I couldn't come back for 3 Sundays. And I told them before I knew it, I said, you know what? I might not be able to come back for 3 Sundays. I said, but you know what? Next Sunday, next 2 Sundays, I'm gonna be out of town anyway. You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand. So I guess my point is, how am I gonna get back in church after I'm almost cussed? But I didn't. I mean, I'm just saying, I did not curse, but I almost cursed. Can somebody tell me how to get back in once you've been suspended from church? Because I don't know how. That was my first time ever hearing of anybody being suspended from church. And it wasn't my fault. And the usher ladies, they was messing with me. So can somebody please tell me how to get back in church?
All right. First of all, I doubt this is even for real. Okay? I just doubt, because I can't imagine somebody being that ignorant. You know what I'm saying? I just can't. But let's just go with the premises that this is true. Lady, go to another church. They will never welcome you back to oh, you can go, but they're always going to treat you kind of shady because of what happened. You know? I mean, just move on. Shouldn't have to go to another church. No, you shouldn't have to. You can go. But they're gonna treat you not like they treat everybody else. They're gonna look at you, you know, give you the mean mug and stuff like that. Because, lady, if you don't realize what you did, and you're saying that they're the ones, they antagonize me. Yeah, but you as an adult have to be the bigger person if, in your view, someone else is not being big about a situation. Then it's up to you. That's what we do as civilized people. We take the high road. You said it. You almost said the S word. You said hell. And who says, while they're feeling the Holy Ghost in church, who says, go on, preacher, you're doing the damn thing? Who says that in church? Even low, when you think nobody can hear you, who says that in church? Who does that? Where is your filter? I don't have no filter. Then you shouldn't be out in public. I have a right. No, you have a right to do anything you want, but you don't have the right to come off looking like an ass, okay? you just, lady, you're wrong. Now, you could go to the pastor of the church and ask for forgiveness. You could address the congregation and say, hey, I was out of line. You guys suspended me for 3. I didn't even know the church can suspend somebody from coming to church for 3 Sundays. Well, they're going to have your picture at the door and not let you in if you go? I mean, church is all about, loving, forgiving, things like that. So how they're suspending you, I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But you're the one at fault here. You're the one. Go on, Pastor. You're doing the damn thing today. Wait, what? Why would you say that? Who does that? Well, I mean, really, who does that? Come on, man. Really? All right, we'll leave it right there, man. My next Tony Scott Live event is going to be on February 6th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Herb Arts, 2600 North 14th Street. I'll have a special co-host when I do this podcast. I'll do it with Coco Rochelle, so make your plans to join me. Make it a date night. There'll be food and beverages available for purchase. Come have dinner. Let's have some great conversation. And let's just, just kick it, man. Grown folk style. All right, the 6th of February from 6 to 8 p.m. Complimentary entry, Herb Arts, 2600 North 14th Street. Look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much for your support, listening, sharing, downloading this podcast. The numbers after the holidays are back up again. I'm very excited for that. Again, thank you so much, and I will talk to you later.